Live your life like Ramadan, and the Akhirat will be your Eid. Overcoming poverty is not a gesture of charity, but an act of justice. A very warm morning to one and all present here. My name is Maliha.
And this is me, Hadia Fatima.
It's our great pleasure to welcome you all to this wonderful 10th Human Library session.
A new day means a fresh start, new opportunities, new strength, new thoughts, and endless possibilities. So let's greet the day with Holy Quran recitation, followed by its translation by Ahmed Hiba.
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم يا أيها الذين آمنوا كتب عليكم الصيام كما كتب على الذين من قبلكم لعلكم تتقون أياما معدودات فمن كان مريضا أو على سفر فعدة من أيام أخر وعلى الذين يطيقونه فدية طعام مسكين فمن تطوع خيرا فهو خير له وأن تصيموا خير لكم إن كنتم تعلمون. Fasting is prescribed for you, as it was for those before you. Perhaps you'll be mindful of Allah. Fasting for a prescribed number of days. So whoever among you is ill or on a journey, then an equal number of other days ought to be made up. And upon those who are able to fast but with hardship, then he can compensate by feeding a needy person. But whoever volunteers to give more, then it is better for them. And to fast is better for you, if only you knew. أعوذ
Do you know the spiritual benefits of fasting?
Yes, indeed, I know. Fasting is a call to return to Allah Almighty. Fasting is a response of a broken heart. Fasting is the humble response to immense responsibility.
Yes, that's true. And it has also been scientifically proven that fasting in Ramadan has a lot of health benefits. Experts have found that restricting food intake during the day can help prevent health problems such as high cholesterol, heart disease, and obesity, as well as improve mental health and well being.
Wow, it's such a great information, but I want to know more about it.
Sure, we have Dr. Basima Maisoon, general practitioner and mental health professional, to share with us the healthy benefits of fasting.
Hello, my dear friends. It is that amazing time of the year we call Ramadan, and I guess you're all having wonderful days. I think each one of us feels the positiveness that comes with this month, regardless of the circumstances, regardless of any other circumstances. Ramadan brings with it positivity and hope. And what is the most distinct aspect of Ramadan? Of course, it is fasting, not to ignore the extra Quran recitations, the long night prayers, the dhikr, and the charity. And is there anything more to Ramadan? You say so? Yes. Okay, we will come to that later. I'm sure most of you here have fasted, have had the experience of fasting. Some might have done it on consecutive days, some on alternate days, some must have observed fasting on select days. And if you are familiar with the experience of fasting, isn't it? Well, did you know that historically fasting in one form or the other has been practiced by most communities and most societies across the world? Whatever that may be, we know that today, when it is Ramadan, that is the 9th month of the Islamic calendar, Muslims all over the world begin fasting. Our families have been doing it for so long. Our families have been observing Ramadan fast ever since we could remember, and naturally, we become eager to fast during Ramadan. That's right. But think about this. I want you to pause and think about this for a moment. Really think about this. When we talk about fasting in Ramadan, when we talk about Ramadan, what are the goals and benefits that come to our minds? In other words, why do we fast? Yes, the number one aim of Ramadan fasting is to increase God consciousness, or taqwa, as it is clearly said in the Quran. O you who have believed, fasting is prescribed for you as it was upon those before you, so that you may become righteous. Fasting teaches us to learn self-control and discipline. Even though food is available in front of us throughout the day, we voluntarily do not consume it. It strengthens the spiritual bond with our Creator and purifies our bodies and souls. Fasting also helps us to be empathetic and understanding and merciful to the needy and less fortunate people. And this in turn helps us become more moderate the way we live and become more charitable. Here's an exercise for you. Think and plan about the charity you can do this month and in the coming year. That is before next Ramadan. Keep in mind, charity is not just spending money. It's not only spending money, but it includes acts of services as well. I'm sure you've heard this one. Even smiling at your friend's face is an act of charity. So said the Prophet, peace be upon him. Like how I said in the beginning, fasting is not just avoiding food and drinks. In fact, it's much more than avoiding food and drinks. We refrain from false speech and action, arguing, quarreling, and any indecent behavior, right? And imagine what this does to us. When we do this, when we practice this for 30 days at a stretch, what happens? It gives us an opportunity, or rather it acts as a training as to how to conduct ourselves in the remaining months of the year. In fact, you can say that Ramadan fasting is an intensive training period for your body and mind. That's great, isn't it? And even that is not all. Studies show that fasting improves your mental abilities, such as learning, memory, and alertness. This might be your experience too. Some say they find a lot of additional time while fasting in Ramadan. This might be because we are able to manage time better during Ramadan. It would be right to say that the benefits of fasting, the benefits of Ramadan fasting are threefold. First, there are the spiritual benefits, which we discussed already in the beginning. That is, of being able to connect with our Creator, to be in solidarity with fellow human beings, and being able to practice mindfulness in everything that we do, in all our dealings, in all our matters. Then there are the benefits in our brain functioning, the mental benefits such as improved concentration, enhanced memory, alertness, and the like. And last but not the least are the physical benefits of fasting. Coming to the physical benefits of fasting, a lot of research has gone into this area. In fact, Ramadan fasting is well studied. And this research showed that, these studies show that fasting helps stimulate the self-preservative mechanisms of our body by recycling and cleansing the cells, as well as remove harmful substances from the body. This in turn gives us optimal health and protection from diseases. You may have heard this. In 2016, the Nobel Prize in Physiology or Medicine was awarded to a Japanese cell biologist called Professor Yoshinori Ozumi. Professor Ozumi was awarded the Nobel Prize for his findings on a process called, or a mechanism of the body called, autophagy. This is the exact mechanism I mentioned earlier, that the self-preservative mechanism of the body, the self-building mechanism of the body. Research shows that conditions such as those in fasting and exercise can induce autophagy in the body. It's a highly protective mechanism and much sought after. Now let's have a look at some of the things we need to follow while fasting in order to make the best out of Ramadan. First and foremost, never miss the suhoor or the pre-dawn meal. And this is for children and adults. Like how the beloved Prophet, peace be upon him, said, "Eat suhoor, for in suhoor there is blessing." So what can you have for suhoor? Remember, suhoor helps sustain the long fasting hours. So for suhoor, consider food made with whole grains that can make you feel fuller for a longer time, but also they release energy over an extended period of time. Also consider food like eggs that are rich in protein, highly nutritious, and tasty too. For iftar, it is tradition to break our fast with dates, and it is for a good reason. Dates are nutrient packed and they are rich in sugar, which are needed after the long fasting hours. They help to hydrate our body quickly, but also gives us instant energy that makes us feel rejuvenated after the long hours of fasting. Also, don't forget the hydrating and fiber-rich fruits and vegetables, as they provide essential nutrients as well and help in digestion. Dairy products and meat may be consumed too. Oh, and never forget the tasty treats, the tasty snacks. Have them sometimes. In short, keep it balanced. As you are in the growing stage, you need to have 3 meals at least, even while fasting. Your body needs 3 meals, the iftar, suhoor, and one in between. Drink plenty of water during the non-fasting hours in order to prevent dehydration, which is the state in which the body is deprived of the essential water it needs, and also to prevent constipation, which is difficulty in passing stool. I always remember to have everything in moderation. Always remember to have anything, even your favorite, the most favorite snack, when your most favorite food. Have everything in moderation and avoid wastefulness by all means. Being moderate is the basis of Iman and good health. It is ideal to be physically active during the day, but avoid strenuous activity and intense sports and such outdoor activities, as these might lead to exhaustion. If you have certain eating habits that you think aren't very healthy, Ramadan may be a good time to overcome them. We know that Ramadan is also a great time to help family members with household chores like cooking, cleaning, and washing up, so that everybody can find enough time for worship. Another important matter to bear in mind is that since fasting changes our routine and more importantly our sleeping pattern, there are possibilities of not getting enough sleep. Proper sleep is essential for being attentive in classes, so make it a point to go to bed as early as possible and wake up as early as you can for suhoor. That way you don't have to rush and you don't have to hurry and eat the suhoor. Not eating hastily applies for iftar as well. It might be a good idea to break your fast with dates, water, and a drink like a soup, a light snack, a juice, and then go for Maghrib prayers and have a heavier meal after that. As you grow older, One thing you can do in order to have sustained benefits of fasting is to try and observe fast during other months of the year other than Ramadan, the voluntary fast. For example, you could fast for 3 days a month or on Mondays and Thursdays. This greatly helps in staying fit, and of course it's an act of worship too. Remember, our lifestyles determine the quality of our lives. Many behaviors that we acquire at a younger age stick with us, and habits are formed out of repeated behaviors. I think everybody knows that we inherit certain genes, we inherit genetic material from our parents, and these genes determine our traits. For example, how we look like, the color of our eyes, how our body functions, how we sound, and so on. It is also very important to know that our behaviors and environment can greatly influence the way our genes behave. For example, what we eat, where we live, who we interact with, when we sleep, how much we exercise, all these determine our body functioning. So I would like to end by reminding my young and enthusiastic friends to be well informed and make healthy choices in their lives. Have a blessed Ramadan.
Thank you, Dr. Basima Maisoon. These informations will surely help us.
Maliha, what's the best thing that you love during Ramadan?
Certainly, it's iftar time. But one thing I noticed that when we invite guests for iftar, we put the maximum amount of food on the table as a sign of generosity. But it really causes wastage of food, and eating too much is contrary to the wisdom of fasting. Am I right?
Yes, you're absolutely right. Islam always encourages honoring guests, but wastage of food and being extravagant in eating and drinking are really prohibited. The wastage of food is quite common sight in our country. I just wonder why people waste so much food, knowing that there are millions of people in our country who get a square meal every day.
I completely agree with you. There is flagrant wastage of foodstuff at wedding receptions, get togethers, or other functions. Huge quantities of unused food stinking on roads with dogs, cows, and other animals eating it. How careless of us as people!
But needless to say, the United Nations has already recognized this issue and raised the goal zero hunger for sustainable development.
All right, now we have an eminent personality with us to speak about Sustainable Development Goals.
I know who that resource person is. It's none other than Mrs. Abhilasha Singh, the SDG ambassador and the principal of Shining Star School, Abu Dhabi. She was our former vice principal, and we are honored to have such a charismatic personality to shed light on the topic.
Hi everyone, a very warm good morning to all of you. Thank you so much for inviting me to be part of the Human Library. I am extremely honored and delighted to be talking to all of you. And I'll be quick because I've been given 10 minutes and I do hope that I'll be able to do justice to the topic today. So children, as all of you know that I am a Teach SDG ambassador and the SDG goals are very dear to me and I'm very passionate about spreading awareness about the Sustainable Development Goals. So I hope all of you know that there are 17 Sustainable Development Goals and we have a deadline to achieve these, which is 2030. So 2030, also popularly known as Agenda 2030, is the deadline when all these 17 goals have to be achieved. Now, today we are going to talk about goal number 2, that is zero hunger. Now, goal number 2 is zero hunger. That means that by 2030, all the people in the world should have access to good nutrition and food and food security. So no one in this world should go hungry because of not having food on the table. and therefore zero hunger affects, well, there are reasons why this goal is important. Okay, why it matters? It matters because food is a very basic necessity of human beings. For you to function well, nutrition is required, because all of you have read in science that nutrition for energy, and energy is what makes the body function. And imagine if people do not have enough food, then their growth is stunted, and they are not able to contribute to national development. And also food then affects the other goals also, you know. So the zero hunger becomes a very important goal to be taken seriously, because this is our basic necessity. Food security in the world is required for peace as well. And no nation can flourish if the citizens of the nation are going hungry. They don't have enough food to add to grow well, and to add to the national development, to economic development. All that are interrelated, and therefore, of course, civil rights. So peace in a nation is also important, is very important for nations development, and therefore food becomes a very basic necessity towards that. So what's the goal here today? Goal specifically, goal number 2 is to end hunger, achieve food security, and improve nutrition and promote sustainable agriculture. Why? Because extreme hunger and malnutrition remains a barrier to sustainable development. How many people go hungry? Wow. There are about, in 2019, data analysis says that there were about 630 million people in Africa alone who went hungry. Imagine if you have to take the statistics for the whole world. So the statistics are very dismal. And this needs to be taken care of. Why are there so many people hungry? Well, there are many factors. The divide between the rich and the poor, and of course the government, the policies, no jobs, which leads to again no employment, which leads to the breadwinner of the family not being able to put food on the table. So it's very sad that in this day and age, with so much development happening, we're putting a man on Mars. We've sent hope and perseverance to Mars. So much fund has gone into building that, but there are people on land who are hungry. And so, you know, there are policies, they're lopsided, there are no jobs. Now, you also need to remember that poverty, education, and employment, these are interrelated, and they form the part of a circle which goes, you know, it's like the infinity movement. Because when a person has education, therefore goal number 4 becomes so important. When a person is educated, he is able to earn a livelihood and is able to lift its family out of poverty, is also able to put food on the table. So when you have, and also have, provide a shelter for his family. So when you have food, when you have clothes on your body, you have a home, people prosper. And if there is poverty, there is no education, there is no employment. When there is no employment, there is poverty. When there is poverty, there is no education, because people are not able to, a man is not able to send his family to school. So in that manner, this entire cycle continues. So the main thing over here to remember is that, you know, it's very complex. You can take it back to colonialism. You can take it back to the policies of nations, corruption, where, well, we know that, you know, our countries are very good examples of that, unfortunately. So people remain hungry, and that's really very sad. Why should I care? We are humans, and we must care that goal number 2 is achieved by 2030, that by 2030 no one will go hungry anywhere in the world. So I must contribute to that. I must contribute as being an aware citizen. I'm as on a human angle, I must contribute to ensuring that Agenda 2030 is achieved. Now, how are we going to do this? Is this in your hand? Well, we are not policy makers, and we are not policy makers. We are simple citizens of a nation, and over here we are experts. But our actions definitely can transform another person's life. And we should also make noise. We must in fact raise our voice so that it reaches government offices and government takes notice of something to do about it. And you can create, another thing to do is that our actions have the capability of making an impact in the world. So as a citizen of the world, as a caring citizen of the world, I must ensure, I must care for the others, needy, I must be kind, and I must put in actions in place which ensures that in my area at least, nobody goes hungry. That can be done by a number of reasons. Think creatively, get together, start a project in school where you are ensuring that awareness is being made, government is listening, and also our own little actions which contribute to a family or to a person going to bed at night with a tummy full. This is really very important. How can we help? Like I just told you, what can we do to help? So number one is raise awareness. Number two is raise awareness and have a voice so that your voice can be heard by the policymakers. And number three is our own little actions. We must resist the urge to buy more sustainable consumerism. So be sensible about what you're buying, and then you can help other people. You can help the needy around your area. You can start, and also you can create jobs for other people. So that is how startups are such a rage these days, because these startups are going to be small businesses which have the capability of becoming big businesses. And the big businesses will contribute to the GDP of the country, and at the same time also create a job market. They will create jobs for other people. Say you open a cafe, or you open a salon, or you open a cafeteria, or a newspaper agency. So maybe as a startup, you only are yourself who's doing all the things about delivery, taking the cash, maintaining your books. But very soon, when you start making profit, when people hear about a good business, you have footfall, your business increases, then you hire people, because you alone are not able to manage that. So in a cafeteria, you'll definitely require somebody at the front desk. You will require somebody who can take care of the cash, and then who can do the accounting. Then you also require in the kitchen, you require somebody who will bake and who will serve and who will wash the dishes. You will require cleaner. So just imagine, from one person you've created jobs for 4 people. Similarly, like that, it continues. So when people have jobs, they definitely have money to buy food. And of course, we have to ensure that WTO, the big decisions that are taken at the World Trade Organization, that supports farmers. And one of the best things that you can do is that you can start buying from your local farm, rather than purchasing material or articles which are imported from abroad. And this way you are contributing to local economy and also supporting the local farmers for growing products. So this is one of the best actions that we can take. So I have become very mindful, and I have started buying local farm produce. It is not expensive. In fact, it is almost the same, or maybe a little lower also, because what you're doing is you're reducing the travel miles as well. So you're also contributing in a positive way to climate change, because imagine from where the vegetables are imported, and the amount of distance that they travel, and so much fossil fuel is used in that travel, and it also increases the cost of not just the cost of production, but from there the added expenses on it, right? So start buying, tell your parents to start supporting local farmers and start buying local farm. Like I'm in Abu Dhabi, so we get a lot of vegetables from a lane, and I have started buying those. Okay. So now what is required is we need to stop malnutrition, because imagine malnutrition affects small children. That means any child who is below 5, between 0 to 5 years, has to have good food to be able to grow into a healthy human being, because that healthy human being is going to be an important human resource for the country. And that human resource is going to contribute to national development, right? So in that manner, it is very important that we also need to limit extreme food price volatility. Now, see, just now during COVID-19, we all, thankfully, we are in a country that has very strict government regulations. So the shopkeepers were told, the businesses were told not to increase price during COVID-19 lockdown. But in many places in the world, in fact, this becomes a great opportunity for the businessmen to hike up the price, and therefore this also causes the poor people remain poor. They'll not be able to buy food for themselves. Okay, so there's also a need to maintain genetic diversity of seeds, so that in case there is a natural calamity, there we have a variety of resistant, disease resistant, and also resilience for natural calamity, that the crops are able to stand themselves. Okay, but at the same time, we also need to remember that there is an impetus on using organic fertilizers rather than inorganic fertilizers. Okay, and of course no pesticides, so organic food, right? I'm going a little fast over here because I've overshot the limit by 3-4 minutes now. So I'm going to end at the 4th minute. Okay. So what you can do as a global citizen is 3 things. These are your mantras. Okay. Advocacy, activism, action. All right. Advocate about the Sustainable Development Goals. Be a goalkeeper yourself. And activist, practice what you're preaching and take action. Well, impact is not possible without action. So what you're saying, what you're preaching, what you're advocating, you need to be a role model for that. Okay, so there are n number of things that you can do to promote sustainable development goals, and then ensure that goal number 2 becomes a reality, because goal number 2 affects a lot of other goals. All right, so thank you so much. I hope all of you remember. For the new children who don't know me, I'm Mrs. Abhilasha Singh. I am Principal, Shining Star International School, Abu Dhabi. I was the Vice Principal in NIMS, and my heart is in NIMS. I love you all a lot. I still miss you all a lot. And I am very thankful to Ms. Sukriya and Ms. Lindsay to have invited me to speak here today. And I look forward to further collaborations. Children, remember, you all are global citizens, and it's your personal responsibility to be a SDG goalkeeper. All right then. Bye-bye. Take care and stay safe and be responsible.
Thank you, Abhilasha ma'am, for sharing your wonderful words and thoughts with us.
This pandemic has adversely affected millions of people to have a hand-to-mouth existence. It's never too late to mend. Future is in our hands. Let's stand together to eradicate poverty and hunger.
Maliha, do you have some tips for our friends to avoid this wastage of food?
Yes, I do have a small but a very informative video on saving food, which will help us to serve this community. So let's watch the video.
Every year, 1/3 of all the food we produce around the world is lost or wasted. Isn't it a pity to waste food while so many people around us are not able to satisfy their daily food needs? So, when is food wasted? Between leaving the farm and reaching our plate, food goes through a number of stages, making up what we call food chain. Unfortunately, food is wasted across the whole chain. And that's not all. When we waste food, we're also wasting all the resources that went into its production, like land, water, effort and energy. Just think of bread and the long way from the farm to our table. Did you know that to make a loaf of bread, you need 1,000 litres of water? That's a lot of water. Wave! Moreover, rotting food in landfill sites lets off a very strong, harmful gas called methane. This means that food waste harms the environment, leading to climate change. Here comes the good news though. By following some simple tips, we can all help reduce food waste at home, save money, help the environment, and support people in need. All together, we can help our community. We just need to take action and care for each other. It's easy. Start by keeping notes of the food your family throws away and try to see why. Find out what went wrong and think about how you can change habits and reduce food waste at home. Shop smart and get everyone in your family involved. Check what's already in the fridge and the cupboards. Plan your meals and make a shopping list before going to buy food. Don't buy with your eyes. Did you know that many fruits and vegetables are thrown away just because they look weird? It doesn't matter if these apples don't have a normal shape or size. They taste great and they're good for you. Always read expiration dates correctly. Let me explain. Use by appears on food which goes off quickly and is about food safety. Best before is all about quality, appearance, texture, maybe taste. But that's all. It's still safe to eat for some time beyond the best before date. So trust your own senses. Does it smell off? What does it look like? Try smaller portions to avoid waste. If you clear your plate, you can ask for more. Do the same in restaurants. And if there is still surplus, always take leftovers home. You can always store or freeze any leftovers for another time. Fruit and vegetables, of course, make delicious soups, smoothies, juices, or preserves. Or, of course, donate surplus food. Let us help get you started. Share these steps with family and friends. Join us and learn more about how to save food at home and in the community. It's easy to get involved with saving food and offering it to people in need in your very own neighborhood. Join the Saving Food community today. The Saving Food project has received funding from the European Union's Horizon 2020 Research and Innovation Programme.
Before winding up the program, I take this opportunity to extend our heartfelt thanks to our management, our principal, Ms. Karen Robinson, and Mr. Priya Segal, HRS Primary and Middle, for giving us this wonderful opportunity. And also, we extend our sincere gratitude to our valued invited guests.
This session does not only consist words, but they have hidden emotions. And I hope each and everyone here could understand the emotion and reason behind every word. The fight against poverty and hunger should be fought constantly and on many fronts, especially in its causes. If you can't feed 100 people, then try feeding just one. Ramadan is the best time to make or break a habit. With this, I would like to end today's session with hope and frozen determination that can never be melted. Ramadan Kareem to all!
See you until we meet for the next session of the Human Library. Thank you!